Hello there. So I had the pleasure to speak to a podcaster who discusses music topics, Squatchy Largefoot. At least that is the name I got when I met this podcaster. This person is a diehard music fan and knows Pantera, obviously, because which diehard music fan does not know Pantera? Anyways, we discussed the death of Dimebag Darrell, whether it could have been prevented or not, and all the drama that happened prior to that that led to this tragic incident. May Dimebag Darrell and Nathan Gale and everyone else who got killed rest in peace. You never know if someone is going through something, and people struggling mentally may act out. Therefore, now that I've offered my condolences, I'm gonna let you sit back and listen to our interview. So you're smoking a cigarette right now. I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So, we're gonna get right into it. You're aware that Dimebag Darrell was the guitarist for Pantera, correct?
Yeah.
And he was tragically killed. So, when did you first hear about him being killed?
God, I don't even remember, honestly. I don't remember exactly. I mean, it was what in the 90s that you got killed?
It was actually 2004, so some
Ah,
rat from the military, he, got kicked out from the military because he kept doing cocaine, and if you joined the army, you are not allowed to do drugs, so he was fired from the military. He was already so aggressive. I guess this music made him more aggressive, groove metal. And then at the Alrosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio, he went over there because Dimebag Darrell had just chose to break up Pantera, and that made him so mad to the point where he wanted to kill him. So he literally walked into that nightclub with a gun. They let him do that.
well, you can just steal things.
Yeah, don't you think it was pretty irresponsible of this nightclub to not have proper security? When literally the most famous guitarist in metal was playing, or one of the most famous ones.
I mean, maybe one of the most famous. I wouldn't say the most famous by any means, but definitely maybe one of the most famous. I mean, there's a lot of famous guitarists out there, and I mean, Pantera's Pantera, but they're not. They ain't no Sabbath, Maiden, or a lot of other bands I can name. I mean,
True.
they have some classics, but they're not. They're just getting to the point now where they're classic rock. I mean, they're not. They were part of the '90s, late '80s or '90s, like wave. They weren't. I mean, it's not like it's not like it's oh my god, Jimmy Page or Ozzy's guitarist. I don't know the name of, or Motorhead's guitarist, or Judas Priest guitarist.
Yeah.
I don't know names. I don't know names of guitarists usually, but
Okay. Yeah, but I honestly think that they should have had security. The tickets were about $10, and
well, that's
lots
why
of yeah,
that's why they didn't have security right there. That's why.
lots of crazy Pantera fans were just storming the venue. A lot of people wanted to go, so they should have had security. And the ones running that were Promo West Productions, they're a concert company. They're supposed to be using metal detectors, but they chose not to that night.
Is it believed there's a conspiracy behind this, or
Yeah, so it looks like the only conspiracy is that the Cautella family, the Italian family owning this nightclub, they did not care about security, so they just let whoever in, and they had two shootings in their nightclub that they had to shut it down.
well, there you go.
Yeah, they
Their
deserve to lose their business, I guess.
consequences lead to action. So yeah.
Yeah, so do you believe this could have been prevented?
Well, of course it could have been, but I mean, Abraham Lincoln's death could have been prevented technically. So I mean, there's a lot of deaths in history that could have been prevented, but sometimes fate works in mysterious ways.
Yeah. So if you owned a venue now that you knew this story, if you were to own one in the future, or you might right now or might not, but if you were to, would you take security seriously, more serious than these irresponsible owners?
I mean, I think nowadays it's taken more seriously everywhere, regardless, just because of the state of the world. But
True.
The early 2000s, as a kid who was in high school back then, security lacks a lot of places.
Yeah, so was it the fault of the bands or of the administration in the venue? Because a band could say, "Please get me more security or I won't perform."
I mean, it's honestly both parties' faults because if the band felt like they had to worry about something, they should have asked for they should have hired their own security. But I mean, or if Darrell thought he had to worry about something, he should have hired a security guard to watch him.
That's true because when you go on tour, you're not guaranteed of getting rich. Maybe your co-band fellow members would get most of the money, who knows, or your manager. So it's hard to get the money to hire security, but I think Dime, being someone from Pantera, he could have afforded it.
I mean, if he didn't blow it all on coke already, yeah.
Yes. So the person who killed him, Nathan Gale, he acted out of anger. And do you think it's common for someone to get so angry because a band broke up?
I mean, I'm sure it happens all the time when bands break up. I mean, there's diehard fans that never want their favorite band to break up, but it's it happens to every band eventually. There's very few bands that have lasted the test of time.
That's true. And I know there are lots of spiritualists that say heavy metal is evil, heavy metal is satanic, and that you're gonna have a terrible life if you follow this music. I know that Dime's aunt passed away about 2 weeks before he was killed. That means his brother Vinny, who was a diehard fan of heavy metal, lost two family members. So, do you think there's a correlation, or do you think that's just bogus?
I think that's just coincidence.
Yeah, same. His family members were getting old anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so this man who killed him, Nathan Gale, he did have a funeral, but it had to be so private. It looks like it was in Cincinnati. So do you think if it was public, do you think Pantera's got so much fans to cause a riot at a killer's funeral?
Maybe one or two angry people, but I mean, like I said, they're not even in the top 10, 20 best metal bands out there for God's sake. Just I mean, they there probably was a fan or two that would be angry, but I don't think it was it's not like when John Lennon got killed or something like that.
Yeah. So have you seen any other examples of a band who breaks up and causes drama?
Um, I mean, when the Beatles broke up, it was a huge controversy. When Zeppelin broke up, there was a huge controversy. When the when Motley Crue kind of broke up and got new members, it was a huge controversy until they went to their original lineup. So, I mean, it happens. I mean, there's always gonna be angry fans, but it's it is what it is. I mean, they're doing a service by being in the band to begin with, so fans should understand that they're doing a service to them. They're not these people don't have to be in a band. They wanna be in a band, they wanna provide their music to people.
That's true. So right now, Pantera has lost a guitarist through murder. They lost their drummer because he was very unhealthy. He kept drinking, doing coke, and he died of a heart attack in his Vegas home when he could have been enjoying life. He just let it all go. So two members dead from strange ways. And now Pantera, they're touring again. They want to get back together. They want to shine again. So, what do you think about that? Do you think it's worth it?
I mean, they'd have to really come out with something great. I mean, the music's scape has changed a lot since they stopped being together. So, I mean, there's a lot more metal to compete against nowadays, and I mean, they might have some diehard fans that would give them a listen, but I mean, new AC/DC is horrible. So, I mean, I don't
Oh.
know. It depends how they do.
And the singer Phil, he was becoming a miserable person, according to Vinny. And do you think that he caused the death of Dime, or does he have nothing to do with it?
Probably nothing, honestly. I mean, it's not. They weren't that famous where there'd be competition between the members to see who's more famous.
Yeah, and also he acted out after Dime died. He called his family and threatened to blow Vinny's head off, which that's what got him banned from attending the funeral. So, do you think it was appropriate of Phil to do that because they did ditch him? They did randomly stop the band and say, "Screw you, Phil."
Yeah, I mean, he had a right to be angry, but he overreacted a little bit, I would say.
I would say too, because getting yourself banned from a funeral, that is not common. And when someone's aching, whether you're mad or not, you should not do that.
No, it's not really heard of. Getting banned from funerals.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you one last question to let you go for tonight. I know you've got family stuff going on. So what message would you give someone who happens to this day to still be angry or upset over the Pantera breakup?
I mean, I would tell them to, move on and find another band they love because there's plenty more out there nowadays that you can. God, I mean, I find new metal bands I love every week of the year. So, uh, go find another band you love. I mean, Pantera has a lot of bands that were better than them. So, go find other ones.
Same. And this lawsuit had to be settled, the lawsuit against the venue. So, do you believe that this family owning the venue deserved to pay Vinny and Dime's parents money?
No,
Why not?
a club is not responsible for the actions of one deranged individual.
That makes sense because back then security was not as common, so they were allowed to not have security. They had the right to do so. Anyways, thank you so much for joining in to my show tonight. I hope you have a great night. I really want to thank you for your time, honestly.
All right, man. Well, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Have a good night. Bye.
You, you too.
Thank you so much for listening. If you found my voice annoying, then I don't care. And if you have the guts to write something about that, then shame on you. If you're about to, I'll give you some advice. Please don't. And if you do, I will not care. But please go do something with your life if you want to complain. And also, I've done nothing to you. So if you already wrote that one comment, go ahead, I dare you to. Grab a hammer and smash your fingers until you've got purple fingernails. Anyways, to all you kind people, I am so glad that you tuned in. This was my first guest episode. Therefore, please stay safe, take care of one another, hold on tight to one another, and have a good rest of your day.